Greetings and welcome everyone to Wednesday nights live. Let me make sure everything's on. All right, welcome. Wednesday, we come here every Wednesday night to answer your questions, to talk about a different topic. And tonight, we're going to be talking about something that we're actually talked about today in our 12-day program. And that is 4 things that you can calibrate before you go on a date to see if you're aligned. So you're not wasting a bunch of time and energy and making bad decisions. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. And we'll also be entertaining your questions. So live Q&A. Let's see, last month, this month, every first Thursday of the month, we do a luminary activation, which is an hour-long activation on a different topic. And this month for January, this first Thursday, which was a week ago, we did an activation on activating our heart so that we can be aligned for an ideal relationship. And so then we moved into our 12-day program, which is what we've been doing. A bunch of you are here today, so it's like a little reunion. And this 12-day program, since there's so many layers to clearing energy so that we can be aligned for a relationship and for love that feels nourishing and not scary and all of that, there's just so many layers to clear. And so in today's clearing, we talked about the four things that you can calibrate so that you can call in an aligned partner. So in this 12 days, there's some people who are ending relationships, some people who are clearing out relationships that have ended, some are in a current relationship, and some are wanting to call in a relationship. So that's a lot of different layers, a lot of different things to clear. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Kimberly Sherry, Frequency Alchemist. I've been in the healing arts for more than 40 years, and calibrating is one of my best hacks and shortcuts for really accelerating your growth and expansion. And the person who started calibrations, maybe you're familiar with Dr. David Hawkins. He wrote the book Power versus Force. And in this book, he created a scale that measures human consciousness. But that scale only went to 1,000. So in 2012, I broke through his scale, now created a new scale called the Infinity Scale. We broke through his scale and it goes to infinity after getting to 250,000 as a measurement. And so this means that now we have infinite possibilities available. And all of this is outlined in my book, Access Your Ultimate Power, The Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence, available on Amazon if you have not seen that book yet. Highly recommend it because it outlines this whole infinity system, how it works, what I'll be doing here tonight as I'm calibrating, and anything can be calibrated. So some of the first things that I started calibrating was the energy of money. And so that took a great journey for many years. And now I am calibrating. So my new love and interest is calibrating all the body systems and body organs so that they can function at their highest capacity. And that is going to help us live longer, more vibrantly. And so that's a whole longevity piece there. But tonight we're going to be talking about, let's see where some of you are calling in from. I always appreciate this. We have a global audience, but we have New York, and we have Alabama, and we have North Carolina, Florida, Colorado, and California. And I don't think, we also have Instagram on, but I don't, for some reason, it's still stuck on my banner there. There we go. Okay, so they're a little bit behind, but anyway. So the four things that we're going to calibrate, or that I always calibrate, if I'm interested in someone or if I'm helping a client determine if this is a good alignment, the first thing that I like to check is the mind frequency. So ideally, that would be at infinity, which means that you're much more open, aware, expanded in your thinking. People whose mind vibration is at a low frequency, which would be 250, they're likely very close-minded. They're likely you're not going to be on the same page. If you meet someone, your mind frequency is at infinity because you operate in a high frequency, but they are at a low frequency at 250, then they are likely to, you're not going to think alike. Conversations are going to be limited and not deep and very superficial. So that is the frequency of the mind. You want to be able to think alike in order to have a good, thriving relationships where you can talk for hours or it's just nice to know that you're on the same page with how you're thinking. It's really important because what we think about the most often for the longest duration with the greatest intensity is how and what we create. So as long as you're on the same page there, you're likely to create similar things, or you can co-create in the same direction much easier. The second thing that I like to calibrate, she knows, is spirit vibration. And this determines, it's not like, it's kind of like your mood, how you operate, how you feel. And sometimes when you meet someone for the first time, they're very charming and putting on their best mask and putting on their best behavior. And so sometimes it can be hard to tell what is somebody really like, uh, beyond this arrangement here. Maybe you're on a date, and they could be very charming. And so if you calibrate their spirit frequency and it's low, like at 250, then very likely they are depressed, or very angry. And that, even those, all those frequencies can be changed, of course. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they're going through some things. So that's actually a frequency that can be changed. And so it's more likely to create alignment if you're not aligned with the spirit frequency. But it's good to know that if it's too low, it might be more work than it's worth, because they are likely um, looking for a relationship to pull them out of their doldrums. And you are like the light in their world, and maybe they don't have a whole lot going on, and they feel kind of down, and they're looking for an answer on the outside. And so those of you who have been following me and know how great and think is, that this spirit vibration is, I'm losing my thought here. Um, well, it's really an important frequency if you're going to have any joy together and so forth, and be in uplifted spirits. Like if you're a person who is positive and so forth, it's going to be really hard relating to somebody who has a low spirit frequency, because they're um, might be more down than you realize. The next one, and then also just stepping back for a second, the mind vibration, that's a little bit harder to, like maybe they get a healing or a clearing, and bring their mind vibration up. Like people think how they think, right? And so we don't want to go into a relationship thinking we want to have to get them on our page. And like either you think alike or you don't. So that's why that one is really important. The next one is body alignment. And so that has to do with how your body chemistry works, and basically how sex is going to be. If you have aligned frequencies, like if both of your frequencies are at infinity with the body frequency, then likely you're going to be having some good fun sex. And that's good to know ahead of time, right? Instead of wasting a lot of time and energy and then, being disappointed. And it kind of makes everybody feel bad and uncomfortable. And so I think that's really an important one to determine ahead of time. And a lot of young men have been raised on corn, we'll call it corn. And so that is not likely to create a good alignment, because that is not the reality of how people really interact and operate with their bodies. So that's a good one to know ahead of time. And then the last one that I like to check is the money frequency. Men don't want gold diggers, right? And women want someone as a provider. But I think, things have changed in that, that's like the ideal, that your man is a provider. But not in the way that women are gold diggers either, that they are just, looking for someone to take care of them and pay their bills and all that. Like, if I was a guy, I wouldn't be interested in that. So, uh, you know, what are you each bringing to the table? What contribution? And so that might be great if it was some of those more traditional roles that we've really come far from, but uh, they kind of work in that, or they can work in that men who are providers for the family, and then the woman who is by nature and nurture the caretaker. She knows how to cook, and so forth, all the domestic kind of things. If a woman is coming into a relationship and she doesn't have any of those things to offer, well, I would say if I was a guy, why would I want to provide when there's no contribution here? So the money frequency is important. That way you can both attract, if you both have a high money frequency, you both will be able to attract opportunities, rich resources, and maybe the woman works, maybe she doesn't, but um, that's also in my book another important piece to have is both of you have high money frequency. So those can money frequency can be changed. Um, Body frequencies that can also be changed. I think a lot of the work that we've been doing in this 12-day program, I think has helped a lot of that. You would be shocked at the levels of control by the dark side that are keeping one women's feminine magnet down. We did a clearing on libido, and it was a bit shocking the degrees that this AI, ancient interference, is controlling our impulses, how we think, body chemistry, all kinds of things. And the levels that they are controlling on so many levels, the body chemistry, the body alignment is something that can be changed when you're clearing past lives around um, sexual abuse and trauma and all kinds of things. We've cleared so many things. I'll just give you a little taste because I've been considering putting this program out after we're done as just a standalone product that you can use. But we've been clearing vows and contracts. That was a huge thing, like vows of celibacy, all those nun lifetimes, those things infiltrate. Unresolved past lives with partners, that was another big thing we cleared. The mother and father wound, those are also big. And we cleared the family tree. That was really good. So a lot of things that we've been, and we're not even done yet. There's still more. So we still have another week before we finish. So it's been really exciting. A lot of things already shifting, and so it's been really great. Well, tonight, hello, Louisiana. And we have Michigan in the house. Great. And Hawaii. Aloha, Sandy. So I'm here to entertain your questions tonight as well. And maybe you're curious about all kinds of things. There's so many things I can calibrate, I can look at. And so if you're unsure and maybe you're new here, you could just ask for me to scan you, and I'll tell you the main thing that's kind of interfering with why you're not moving forward or moving ahead or moving into your highest potential, etc. So, yeah, let me know. Okay, here we go. Dana wants us to scan her mind vibration. So your mind vibration right now is at 500, Dana. And so 500 is like the energy of like I like chocolate. And so at 500, this is on the Hawkins scale, that's the vibration of love. But I think that as it corresponds to my scale, is more like, and because on the infinity scale, there are so much higher calibrations of the frequency of love that it's more like bliss and those kinds of frequencies. So at 500, I'll tell you what is kind of in the way that's bringing that, was it spirit frequency down? Mind vibration. Okay, so this is how you're thinking. Um, in your sixth chakra, there are chords, AI chords, about 20. And so these chords plant here, and then they're controlling what you think about. And because they know that this is how we create, is by what we think about the most often. So I would take that out so that you can start thinking a little more clearly. So that's the biggest part of your um, mind frequency. Okay, great. Thanks for asking. Um, won't be disappointed. I'm not sure what that means, Sandy. um, so here's one. Kimberly, I want to detach and go out of the relationship. So it sounds like you're currently in a relationship, but I don't think you're not married. This is Selma. Okay. Not sure about the unresolved past lives with this man, chords, and what has been going on, but I have definitely been looping for a long time. Okay, let's take a quick peek at this person. So, unresolved lifetimes. You have 5. He has 3. He's only according to your root chakra, but he has a lot of his own fears. So you're going to be feeling his fears and thinking it's your own. The mind frequency is at infinity, so you probably have great conversations. Spirit 250. So that's where you guys are struggling and not aligned, is with the spirit frequency. So maybe somebody's down. Anger, a lot of fury, in that. And then let's see. Body is at infinity, so that's likely a big attraction that keeps pulling you together, but it's not quite aligned. Money frequency 500, so that's like you'll make enough money together to live, but you'll always be up against that glass ceiling, knowing that there's more, but you can't quite get to it. So that's kind of the story on you guys. All right, let's see. It's Jill from our 12-day program. Hey, Jill. Appreciate all the clearings. Thank you so much. Wondering if you can see anything blocking me from calling in a new aligned partner. Oh, we've cleared so much, but let's see what might still be in the way. Let's check your we space. So that's grounded. So in your we space, so this is the avatar that we've created for the group to call in an aligned partner. And this we space for you, the heart is not grounded. So there's a lot of fear in the heart of this avatar. It looks like it's connected to past disappointments, like, "Oh, I hope it won't happen again." So you're kind of operating from the rear view mirror. Let's see what else. Okay, so yeah, the heart is not grounded and it's only like 3% open. There's also that AI infiltration in the sixth chakra uh, of those AI chords. So there's about 20 there. So you can take a look at that, clear those things, and we'll check it in about an hour and a half. Okay, great. Or let's see, Jill, maybe you're not in the advanced class. Well, you can start working on that. Okay, great. All right, here's another Linda. Linda Castle is new and would love a scan. Okay, great. So, Linda, you do not have a grounding cord. So that's the most important part of this whole energy system, this everything that um, this running your energy is all about. Um, so you're not grounded because in your root chakra, you have those 20 AI cords that are plugged into your root. So we never cut them because that leaves residual energy behind, but you pull them out, send them back, and so that you can get grounded. So that's number one. You only have about two creative rings above your head. So you not only have this AI infiltration at your root, but you also have compression at your crown. So that means you can't open your creative rings. That's how you create your world. So in above the rings, so about at the third ring, so we can have 100 of these before it breaks through to infinity. So around the third ring, there are um, chords, 20, another 20 of those AI chords. So that's what's interfering with this, the chords opening up and expanding. So the more rings you have, the faster you're going to create, the bigger and more intensely. But this is the reason why we do this process of running your energy, because the rings don't care what it amplifies. It's just going to make everything bigger. And so if you have a lot of fear in your field, it's going to amplify that. If you have a lot of anger in your field, that's going to get amplified. So that would be the very beginning of this whole getting you sort of untangled from this chaos out here, is to get grounded so that you can get back in your body. You're only in your body about 3% because of all the anger, rage, and fury that's running in your field that's not even yours. So that all needs to be disconnected and cleared uh, as a start. And so for those of you who are not grounded, if you ask, oh, and you find out, I'm not grounded, on my website, so the QR code at the top of the screen there will take you to the link tree. And then in the link tree, you can find the 20-minute meditation. You can go to my website. It will go to all kinds of things. You can go explore. So that would be very helpful. All right, thanks for joining us, Linda. Selma, I'm going to move on. Let's see, everything you explained. Mismatch between the two of us and thinking that connection with him was preventing me to move forward. Yeah, so everything I mentioned was accurate, it sounds like you're saying. All right, Brooke, it's been a while. What's the energy on Samuel B. Lee, MD? Is my daughter, my mom reincarnated? Okay, listen, Samuel B. Lee as a doctor. So I don't know if you're like looking at, so I don't know if he's like famous or if, I don't know who he is, but I'll give you some insight into him. So he has no grounding cord. He's got two creative rings. His heart is completely closed. So he is he looks like an NPC. Basically, he's been taken over and he's just kind of functioning, operating. He's only in his body 3%. And he operates 100% from his false ego. And then is your daughter your mom reincarnated? So are you, so I don't know if your mom has passed and like your daughter then came along after she died. Is that what you're asking? Or is your daughter your mother from a past life? That would be a yes. You have both have been exchanging those roles of mother and daughter and so forth and so on. So that would be a yes. Namaste, Radhika. Hi, Kimberly. Can I have a scan? Okay, great. Janar. Okay. No grounding, no rings, heart closed. You're only occupying your body 3%. You have a lot of fury in your field. And the thing about fury, especially when it's not yours, and especially when you're not in your body to know how much fury you're running through your field, they do that on purpose. Fury creates a lot of inflammation, and it's behind a lot of illness, any of the itises, arthritis, dermatitis, itis, all the itises is inflammation. And generally, anger, rage, and fury is behind all of those. So I would download my 20-minute meditation and practice running through that. It will emphasize that the most important part of that meditation is to make sure that you are grounded. Like, don't just go through the motions, because that may help some things, but if you miss the part where you're getting ultra grounded with a grounding cord that really goes all the way solidly to the center of the earth, then you're just, will be going through the motions, and you won't find as much success. So hopefully that is helpful. And so when I'm telling you this is kind of the basic. This is very basic stuff, but it's critical for you to take a next step. Without a grounding cord, you're not going to release all the energies that are in your field that are likely not even yours. So that's super important to be ultra grounded. There's 5 parts to getting grounded in my infinity system. Here's one from Only Mary Ann. Okay. I have a loss of interest in anything except the absolute minimum of effort. Why? Well, same thing. You're not thinking your thoughts. You're thinking this AI infiltration is causing you to feel apathetic, and there's a very kind of like people don't care anymore, and that's not your thoughts. That's this AI infiltration. So number 1, you have no grounding cord. You have no creative rings. Your heart is closed. And so when they love closing the heart chakra because they know how important that is, it's kryptonite to them. So if everybody was operating from a full open heart, they would probably all just melt. They would just dissolve, and they couldn't function, because this is the antithesis of what they are and their energy. So heart energy, when your heart is closed, you don't care anymore. There's no heart. It's hard to love yourself. It's hard to love others. Like, you don't really care about other people, because you probably also don't care much about yourself. So this is why. It's because of this infiltration. Cords, 20, yeah. So you also have those 20 AI cords at your root chakra, and that's what's causing you to be ungrounded. So what I'm describing, multiply that by millions. Millions of people operate like this every day. You can function like this, but you're not enjoying life. You're not going to be in the fullness of this life experience. So, yeah. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for asking, Marianne. Read my comment above. I think I did, but I didn't understand what it was about, because it was it said won't be disappointed. I didn't know what you were referring to. All right, Sandy. So this is Lola from Michigan. Can you calibrate my consciousness? I've read the Hawkins book. Yes. So Mhm. It's at 500, which is on the Hawkins scale, it's the vibration of love. But as I mentioned before, that's kind of like a very low grade love. It's really more like. And so, yeah. And then there's another calibration that I also measure for consciousness, and that is a percent from 0 to 100. So if you're completely awake, you would be 100% awake. If you have a lot of unconsciousness in your field, this is what will be revealed by this next number I'm going to give you. So your consciousness is at like 50%. So you still have a lot of unconscious energy in your field. So likely when you go to meditate, you may often asleep or fall asleep. It feels like falling asleep, but it's not really sleep. It is unconscious energy releasing. And when you release that unconsciousness, it feels like you keep dozing off. But that's unconsciousness. That's not sleep. So thanks for asking, Lola. Uh, okay, Jill's in advance. Okay, Dana, how much am I in my body? I've been trying to be 100% all the time. Yes, you are 100% in your body and you're grounded. This is likely why, because you're releasing the stuff that tends to kick you out of your body. So great job, Dana. Um, all right, Maborgon. Hey, Kimberly, I'm new. This is so interesting. I would love a scan. Okay, great. So you also have no grounding cord. Um, you have no rings above your head and heart closed. So you may be feeling a lot like this other woman who, it's like you're just kind of floating through life. There's really not a lot of highs, not a lot of lows, or maybe you're just kind of always on that low where it's very it's very hard. In my opinion, it's a hard way to live. But if you don't know any different, then what are you going to do? Right? You just keep doing your best and try to be available, but you're not really even present because you're not even fully occupying your body. So you're in your body. Did I already say this? 3%. You've got a lot of that fury that's being channeled through these cords that this AI energy puts in your energy field. So just know that we are all wireless technology. And by virtue of having an aura, we intercept all of the messages and frequencies and things that are just floating out there. And so this is why we might not feel like ourselves, but we don't know how to change it, because this is why we do what we do here, is teaching you about this and then giving you the opportunity to join us. We do a clearing once a month, first Thursday of every month. We do an activation where we go through the whole process of running your energy. It's got 5 parts to getting grounded. We clear. So by the time you walk away from this, which is an hour long activation, you will be grounded. You will be back in your body. You're likely to have a lot of rings. Most leave with an infinite number of rings, which means infinite possibilities are now available. Your heart will be open and grounded, and you're going to feel very different. You're going to feel back in your body. You may feel very tired because maybe you haven't been in your body in a long time and you don't realize how drained and how you've just been dragging your carcass through life and really burning the candles at both ends, just trying to, get stuff done. So I highly recommend uh, running your energy with this meditation, starting to get cleared, and then joining us on the first Thursday. This next one is going to be about, so we just did, the last one was on opening the heart, activating the heart. The next one felt like the natural evolution of having opened the heart, and now we've been working on all this relationship stuff. Spirit was directing us that next step is, how do we help our communities? And so Spirit has guided me to walk everyone through a very specific process where everyone will be able to help their communities by one, never leaving your home. I mean, you don't have to leave your home in order to participate in this and create an effect in your community. You don't have to participate in protests, which, in my opinion, are worthless. Protests never change anything. And it's really just a way for people to not feel alone, but they don't really change anything because you're fighting against something instead of elevating above it. So that's what this it's why it's called lifting your communities. This is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be energetically lifting our communities. So if everyone plays the part to work on their community, and I'll be walking you through the whole process on how to do that. I'm excited because I've never done it before. I've never done this. I've done it for lots of different things. But you don't need anybody's permission to do this because you're not working on anybody specifically. You always need permission for that. Um, and there's no harm in looking at things as long as you're not changing other people's frequencies. You can look. And when we're doing bigger community things, you don't need to get permission because it's whoever needs the help will benefit from it. And so that's going to be fun. February, our first luminary activation in February, first Thursday. All right. KM Babe, no matter what I do, nothing is working in my life. So sorry. Is there a pact? I always come back to mom. Did she curse me? So, meaning like you try to leave home, but then you end up coming back and getting supported by mom. So it feels like having a hard time flying the coop. Okay, so first of all, you have no grounding cord. That's energy 101, need a grounding cord. You have no rings. Heart, it's 50% open, so you're partway there. But if that heart was even more open, you would be able to do more things that are about loving yourself. And so a lot of people don't even know that you can self-generate love. Love is self-generated right in our heart chakra. We don't need to go out to find love, to feel loved, to get love. We self-generate it. And then when we go out and we meet other people and we find a partner, then it gets amplified. So that's one thing. So you need a grounding cord and you need rings. You have 3 rings, which is kind of a basic minimum. But it's going to be hard to create what you really desire with only 3 rings. Spells, curses. You do have curses on you. Yeah. Is it from your mom? No, it's from this AI influence. In your root chakra, you have like 50 curses from this AI energy. So that can make you feel like you're cursed and nothing works out, right? So those curses, all that stuff, spells, curses, cords, black boxes is another new controlling mechanism that the dark side is using. So that is all the things that we're going to be releasing in this activation. All right, so we've got a lot of people here. So we're going to, this is a good question. Wondering what you think of the monks doing the walk across America. I have looked into that. And I haven't wanted to say anything because I was trying to figure it out. Because when I look at it, it has a low frequency. And it was bugging me because it's like, why does this have a low frequency? And so here's what's going on. The monks have a high frequency. They are connected to source. They are all grounded. They're like pillars of light. However, the dark side sees this as a great opportunity to infiltrate into their bubble and to affect the people that are tuning in so that they're not really tuning into the frequency of the monks. They're tuning into the frequency of the dark side that's using this opportunity to transmit their own frequencies. So this is what happens with all kinds of people who are influencers, people like Tony Robbins, Joe Dispenza, blah, 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 tons of them. Even the Dalai Lama has been infiltrated. So they use these people, and they might have all the right words to say. They say all the right words, inspiring, encouraging. It's not that the words are necessarily bad or wrong, but the frequency that AI is riding on in them is transmitting a different frequency. This is why I'm always saying you guys need to learn to calibrate. Learn to calibrate, whether it's with a pendulum or dowsing or a body pendulum or counting. I count. So super important, because that's the greatest deception that's happening right now is people are confused. They don't know what's real. They don't know what's not real. They don't know what's true. The words might sound great. Like you'll go through these YouTube videos and click on something because it sounds so good. And I see it every single day, but if you calibrate the frequency, it's only at 250. It's got darker influences that are coming through. And this is especially true and dangerous with some of these frequency, like meditations, or you might hear a humming or some kind of a droning kind of. It's very dangerous, very dangerous. They come in on those low frequencies. So thanks for asking about that. I did want to mention that at some point, so I'm glad somebody asked. Hey, Sabrina, can I ask the same question? Any blocks to calling in a loving partner? Well, let's look at your WeSpace avatar. So it's lost its grounding cord, and it only has 2 rings. So those AI cords at the root chakra, and above the crown, there are 50 curses. So that would be some good starters. Yeah, those are the big chunks for immediate attention. All right, Nancy, some healers say you can listen to their meditations in the background or while sleeping, and it is effective. Yes, actually, all meditations kind of work that way because they operate on a frequency, as long as it's not disrupting your sleep. Now, personally, I don't sleep deep enough for that to work. Having something in the background tends to keep me awake, or waking up often and hearing it. And so that doesn't work for me. But if it works for you, great. If you're a deep sleeper, yeah, do it. Okay, yes, your mom passed away in 2011. So, I see. So your daughter was born since your mom. So okay, let me see. I'm getting a yes. I'm getting a yes, Brooke. That could be kind of cool. If you had a great relationship with your mom, maybe it's really special. So Cam Babe is saying, I can never be on my own. What keeps me down? Well, first of all, that's a belief. And so every time you say it, you reinforce it. So another question you could start entertaining is universe, spirit, guides, God, whoever you turn to, how do things get better? How like when you tap into your future successful self and you ask your future successful self, how is it that I was so successful? How is it I was able to get my own place? How is it that I made enough money to be able to live on my own? If you start asking those kinds of questions instead of saying, I can never be on my own, nothing ever works. I'm always, I'm on, life sucks. If you keep saying those kinds of things, that's what you're going to reinforce. So I highly encourage you to change the dialogue to something that the universe can show you, which my favorite question, how does it get any better than this? Anything can get better, a little better, a lot better. And even if you have like a windfall of something that's really great and you ask, how does it get better than this? You're not showing ingratitude. You're stepping into infinite possibilities. If this is amazing, I wonder how it even gets better than this. By asking this question for years, this is just always my favorite question. My life is great. I don't worry about money. I am always happy. I did have a day a couple weeks ago though, where I had an unusually weird day. So I do have, things that will show up. But as a general rule, I'm happy. I live a really fulfilled life, and I'm helping and I'm in service to others, which is very exciting to me. And so when you keep asking that question, how does it get better than this? And then stay in that blissful question of, I wonder, that will start to change everything for you. And getting grounded will also help. Okay, here's Kay, who would like to be scanned. Thanks for joining us, Kayla. Um, or is it Kay Lafrede? We'll call you Kayla. All right, Kayla. No grounding, no rings, heart closed. So that is a very it's a hard way to live like that, because life doesn't seem interesting. Like, where's the joy? There's no joy in the frequency that I'm scanning. Joy, so joy can be measured, peace of mind can be measured, amusement, which is a great tool. I laugh a lot at everything. So your joy is at 0. So by getting grounded, you can start eliminating these frequencies that are bringing your life down. It's not a fun way to operate. So yeah, get grounded, amplify your joy. That's one of the things I even measure often in these activations. We'll make sure there's no fear, anger, rage, fury, terror, sadness, grief. And then we amplify the energies of joy and amusement, and you'll feel very different. Okay, here's Paula, who would love a scan and curious if what you said about being a nun in a past lives, and clearly celibacy patterns, if that applies to me. All right, so you are not grounded, Paula, and 0 rings. It's kind of interesting. Everybody that I've been checking, it has the same pattern. So multiply that by millions of people who are all operating like that. And you wonder why nobody seems happy. Nobody feels like they're having any joy in their life. Heart closed. I don't know if I already said that or not. You're only in your body 3%. A lot of fury in your field. Maybe you have some inflammation. Were you a nun in a past life? Yes, 5 times. And that celibacy pattern is still running at about 50%. So yeah, some work there. All right, Spumanti. Someone rogue had cords to sending me positive energy. We removed these cords in the last session last week. Would this register for him as a disinterest from my side? Possibly, yes. How do 4 things look for us? Okay, so you're thinking of the mind, spirit, body frequencies and money. So this person is no longer courting to you. So that's good. So that then you can determine what you're thinking versus what they're thinking, but they're connected to you. So you think they're your thoughts, but they're not. Okay, mind between the two of you, 250. So you probably don't have long conversations, deep conversations. you just think differently. You're just like not on the same page when it comes to what you think about. Spirit, 500. You could get along at 500, but it wouldn't be particularly fulfilling or exciting. 500 is, I like chocolate. Body, infinity. So that's the attraction. There's probably great sex. And so, people keep coming back for that, but if that's all there is, it's mm. All right. And then money, you have a low frequency at 250. And yeah, you both have a low money frequency. So that will be a bit of a financial struggle for you guys. All right. Let's see if we have some new people. Here's a new person. D35. Okay. Not grounded. No rings. Let's see. 0 rings. Heart closed. Only occupying your body 3%. A lot of fury. Those 20 AI chords at your root is what's keeping you from getting grounded. If all of you that I've mentioned that to, if you take that grounding cord, or if you take those cords out, it can change everything that's going on. They do that because it's so effective. The root chakra sets the tone for everything above it. So if they can disable that, then that's an easy thing for them to create a lot of havoc. But it's easily remedied as well. So that was D35. All right. Let's get some other new people. Arsenic. I'd like a scan, please. Thank you. Okay. No grounding cord, no rings, heart closed, occupying your body 3%. Yeah, so this is way most of the people on the planet are operating. And it's just not fun. It's not exciting. It's not, where's the joy? Where's the joy? Your joy is at 3%. So it's not 0, but 3. How much joy is that? Not very much. So if you guys really want to enjoy life, that's the whole purpose of being here, is to really enjoy life and everything it has to offer. We have to change our focus. Stop scrolling. Don't watch the news. Get grounded. Hug a tree. Like, when you change this frequency here, everything out here starts to change, because you're creating everything out here based on what's going on here. So you change this landscape, everything out there starts to change. It's really simple, but not necessarily easy. Yes, helping to shift our communities for sure. Can you explain the AI influence? So AI is ancient interference. It's a dark energy that's been on this planet ruling forever. This is a slave planet, and they're the ones who have been controlling this. So that's what I mean by AI energy, ancient interference. So interesting about the monks, yeah. So arsenic, I think I did you, right? Arsenic. Yes, you did. I did that. Would you please read me? Ha 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 ha. Okay, hopefully you have some amusement with a title like that. So you're grounded. Yay! You're grounded. You have 5 rings, so you're not able to create it quite like you would like to. Heart is open, 100%. Great job. See, your amusement is probably a big advantage to why your field is even like this. So being in humor and amusement is automatically going to put you in a higher frequency. You can't be laughing and being joyful and joking if you're angry, if you're afraid. They're like opposite energies. Let's see what else. Your circle of reciprocity is flowing, so you're a great giver, but you also receive. Heart, I think it maybe I already said 100%. Yeah, open, flowing, great. Um, you have no spells, curses, cords. You do have some black boxes, so it sounds like you're likely a healer, and so you can clear this by your oversoul is also connected. You can clear this by using the white plasma from your oversoul to transmute these black boxes, which are at your root chakra. There's 5 of them. Sometimes I see them like nesting dolls where you have a small one and then a bigger one over that and a bigger and bigger and bigger. So they're like nesting boxes. So those are in your root chakra. If you clear that, that will help your creative rings to open up. So welcome. Nice having you here. I always get excited when people have high frequencies. Okay. Um, could you see how, here's Kimberly, can you see how in my body I am? 5%. Currently tired, not sure if that affects it. Yeah, so you're grounded, um, but heart not grounded, only have 2 rings. So you have this compression at your crown with those 20 AI chords, and that's creating this tired energy. Yeah. All right, let's see if we have one more new person. That's too bad about Samuel. He has a podcast I enjoy listening to. Yeah, there's a lot of people that really had a good message, and then they got taken over. Robert Gray, can't think of his name right now. Anyway, he's one who's been recently taken over. I have a feeling she's my mom. Okay. Here's Deborah. Okay, let's make this the last one. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to go. Deborah would love to be scanned. Okay, so Deborah, you also have no grounding cord, no rings, heart 5% open. You're in your body 5%. There's a lot of fury running through your field that's not yours, and that's what's kind of kicking you out of your body. And did I say? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So joy 15%. So you can see, her heart is open a little bit, more so than other people. Or was it the heart, or what was that? 3% heart. As I'm talking about it, you're slowly opening your heart. So now your heart's 15%. And so with that, you also have a little bit more joy than some of the other people that have come on. So 15% joy. Chords, 20 of those AI chords right in your root chakra. So pull those out. Of course, never cut, leaves residual energy. Pull those out, send it back, and that will be quite helpful. All right. Well, we've got to get Robert Grant. Yes, that was the one who I was saying. He's done a lot of work in Egypt, and he's very brilliant. He's very smart and very with numbers and calculations, and he's just a wizard that way. And he's been taken over, unfortunately. So I really liked him. He's got no grounding cord, no rings, heart closed. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. And he's operating from his ego now, 100% in his ego. All right. Well, lovely people, it's been a pleasure. And I look forward to seeing you back next week. We can entertain some more questions. And in the meantime, you can go to my website, KimberlySherry.com, and you can download my free meditation, a 20-minute meditation. Great thing to listen to every day to get grounded. the most important part of your energy field is getting grounded. All right. Well, thank you. And we'll see you back next week. And until then, keep asking my favorite question: how? How does it get any better than this? And then stay in that blissful question of, I wonder. All right. Blessings, everyone. See you next week. Ciao.